One, so it's gonna be the first one on our list. Are all making this list? Because you're gonna have to do some on your own in just a little bit.
I just hope they don't go home and say, I learned nothing, or we did nothing. I hope they can not only take something from my own class, but have something throughout the day that had an impact on them. One group might learn well with that activity, and another group, you can see quickly that it's not gonna go that way. So always have a backup plan.
I have books that were like hidden, not in our nice 3 columns that we discussed.
Sixth graders are still in love with school. Usually, for the most part, they enjoy coming here for that social aspect, but most of them are still eager to learn. I did teach elementary for 7 years. But sixth grade is just a very interesting age, I will say.
We're gonna now open up our math books. We're gonna open up our notebooks.
I would hope that students go home and say that they, whether it's academically that they learned something, that they met a new friend, that they learned a new activity here at school. I just hope they don't go home and say, I learned nothing, or we did nothing. I hope they can not only take something from my own class, but have something throughout the day that had an impact on them. So I hope that they can say something at school, not just nothing, we did nothing, which is probably the typical middle school response. You always got to have a backup plan, because you might have great plans of activity or a lesson that you want to teach the way you want to teach it. You can quickly see that it doesn't go right. So you got to have a backup plan or a second idea that is always helpful, because everybody learns in a different way, and one group might learn well with that activity, and another group, you can see quickly that it's not going to go that way. So always have a backup plan. A second activity plan is probably one of the things I always try to make sure I have done.
All right, guys, we are down to about 3 minutes, so it is time to start cleaning up.
Just instilling it in our students. Not only do I try to live, my own day that way, but also trying to instill those traits in our students, setting those high expectations, expecting everyone to follow them so that they can be successful, because really those discover away traits are what you need to be a successful, part of our community, whether it's in adulthood or, middle school and high school. We want you to exude those traits out in the community as well, not just here at school. So just kind of trying to lead by example and let my students see those traits in myself so that they can start to exude them here at school, but also out in our community as well.
Consider things such as, who's in the movie? Is it an actor or actress?
Oh, well, I probably have about 14 pens, because I go home and I check my pockets, and there's always pens in there. Usually some dry erase markers. Those are things that as I leave here, I have to empty my pockets, and those are what's usually in there. Last year it was Germ-X and hand sanitizer, other hand sanitizer, mask, things like that. Hopefully this year that doesn't need to take place. So I would say being a detective is probably something that people wouldn't think